Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Sailor Nation Sports Network here at the first ever Cross Country Media Day, where we get an opportunity to talk to a few of the actual participants on the cross country team. We're going to talk to the coaches. We're going to find out a little bit about what's going on with this cross country team this year, 22-23 season. And first and foremost, to get us started, is Miss Robin Hunt. Robin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Robin, you're a senior,
Yep.
and you are one of the captains.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how it came about that you were a captain. Is it a team vote?
It's a team vote, and our girls' team is so large this year that we were able to have three, so
Okay.
I'm one of three.
Who are the other team captains?
Cecilia Conrad and Sienna Billingsley.
Okay, and we'll be talking to them a little bit later. But tell me, how does it feel to be voted as a captain on this team?
Really good. It's great that they have faith in me that I can do this, and it's been fun so far.
Is it a lot of responsibility? What do you do as a team captain?
For cross country, we just help lead at meets and stuff, the courses, and we've put together, along with some other seniors, some posters and some shirts for the team. Other than that, we just help lead stretches and stuff and make sure they have a role model to look
Kind
up
of keep
to.
things organized, practices and meets, that kind of stuff. So, good. Well, what do you think is the overall goals for the girls' team this year? What do you guys want to achieve?
We'd love to place higher at regionals this year.
Okay.
Last year we placed our highest in like 10 years, and we added a new freshman this year that'll be really advantageous for us.
Who is that?
Ellery Hornis.
Okay, and someone to keep an eye on. Then,
Oh,
huh?
yes.
Good,
definitely.
good. So she's going to be a good addition to the team and maybe get you over that next hump, maybe a little bit. Now,
Yeah.
what did you place last year?
6th, I
Okay.
believe. So.
And that's respectable, considering the team has always been an ebb and flow of success and a little more work than So, but 6 is great, and you guys kept a lot of that team together from last year.
Yes,
Correct?
we did. Our varsity team last year was made up of 6 juniors. Now as seniors, we have, I believe, 5 seniors on our varsity team this year.
So I understand that you and the other captains for the girls' team have run all 4 years here.
Cecilia and Sienna's on her 3rd year this year.
Okay, so she's a third year. So does that experience on the team, does that translate through to the younger runners? Do they see that experience? Do they feel that experience? Did you guys give them a little bit of a picture of what to expect, and how does that translate?
Yeah, we definitely do. It's great to see the bonding. We as a senior class are really close, and it's good for them to see that, because then with their own classes and with the rest of the team, they can it helps them bond better, and then they're more supportive of each other at meets versus that. Yes, this is an individual sport, but we score as a team, and
That's right.
You've got to cheer the rest of your teammates on.
That's true. How about individually? What do you see for yourself this year? What are you expecting to get out of this season?
Honestly, I'd like to move up on the record board higher.
Yeah.
That's in PR. I haven't PR'd since sophomore year, so.
Well, now's the year to do that.
I'm so close last year, so.
Where are you on the record board?
Number 6.
Number 6. Do you know any of the names above you?
Yes, I do.
Do
The
you?
next name above me is Mrs. Hall.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Well, does she know you're gunning for her?
Yes, she does.
She's probably rooting you on the entire way, isn't
Yep.
she? So tell me, within the team, you talk about camaraderie and the working as a team, and it's kind of like a little family. Mm-hmm. Who's the goofball of the family?
Either Destiny Douglas and Lily Houle combined make our goofball.
And what makes them the goofball? They playing pranks and that kind of stuff?
Not so much playing pranks. It's just their attitudes. They have such fun attitudes, and when they're together, it's hilarious. I have 0 serious pictures of Lily on my phone. We took pictures last year for regionals, and her tongue is sticking out instead of a serious picture.
Of course. You've had a couple of meets. How'd they go so far?
I have not raced yet this season.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
How come?
I'm a double sport athlete, so I have swim in the same season.
Ah, yes.
And the first meet fell on a swim meet, and I picked the swim meet over the cross meet. And then the second meet was actually the day before our SAT. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. So your first meet will be coming up then, correct?
Yep.
And is it the conference against Wyoming, correct?
Yes.
That's going to
Yep.
be your first one?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So You haven't raced, but how has the team done so far in the
They've
first?
done really well. The first
Tell us
meet
about the 2 meets.
was really hot. The first meet was really hot, and they just pushed through. Like, that race, we had someone pass out. We had people not finish, but they finished. And for them, and it being their first race, they did well. The second meet, they just put the other meet aside, and they ran their hearts out. We had Ellery rake 20, and then Ashley Davis, who's a senior this year, she got her varsity letter, along with a freshman who got her varsity letter as well. So
We looking at any state qualifiers?
possibly Ellery, and
As a freshman?
Yes,
Yeah,
as a
wow.
freshman, and then if possible, that would be my goal, honestly, this year. But,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and on the boys' side, we definitely are looking at state
Awesome.
qualifiers. So.
Well, I think you guys are headed in the right direction. I'll tell you. And it's a bittersweet being a senior.
Oh, yes.
When the team is improving so much, and then this is your last year, so
Yeah.
you're going to give it everything you got. I have no doubt.
Yep.
I have no doubt whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, Robin Hunt, our first interview of the media day, first ever cross country media day. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Robin.
Thank you.
I know you got to get going because as a dual sport,
Yeah.
you got to go do a swim meet. So
Yep.
good luck with that, and good luck with all the race that you have coming up this season for cross country as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with our next interview.
From truck beds to bed beds, we've got your home and auto covered. Combine your home and auto with Lake Michigan Insurance Agency, and you could save $650. That's like 325 gallons of gas, or 21 sets of comfy sheets. So, trust our experts to find the perfect amount of coverage for you, making sure you're covered when you need it and how you need it. We shop a variety of insurance providers, industry leaders like Citizens and Frankenmuth Insurance, to make sure you get the highest quality coverage at the lowest possible rate. In Muskegon County, trust Ryan Rozicki to start a quote for you today. Visit Ryan at our Norton Avenue office in the Park Place Shopping Center near Goodwill and Pites and Courts Restaurant, or visit lmcu.org/insurance to get started.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Cross Country Media Day. First ever. It's an opportunity for us, the Sailor Nation Sports Network, to meet some of the team captains, learn a little bit about the team, see where they're going. And now we have Mr. Theo Conrad.
Hello.
Theo, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand that you're one of the boys' captains, correct?
That's correct.
And as we heard in the last interview, it was kind of voted on to be who was the captains, correct? Yep. How's that feel?
It feels pretty good. When I was a freshman, one of the seniors who was a captain on that year, he was like, I can already tell you're a freshman and you're going to be a captain when you're a senior. And, I don't know. And
So
now I am, so it's a great feeling.
People saw some natural leadership tendencies in you and kind of looked towards you to be able to really kind of pull things together. Now, I understand that you were affectionately known as Assistant Coach Conrad. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Assistant Coach Theo?
Yep.
And why is that, Theo? Why do they call you Assistant Coach Theo?
So beginning last year before the city meet, I basically, we have this wonderful website available to us called athletic.net, and it's got all the times and just like the PRs, everything of everybody we race against. And so I spent hours going over everything, and I was like, I put it all on. It started out as a piece of paper, and I just wrote down this team, they're gonna finish here, 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 and here, and I think this runner could either move up or he's not gonna run as well. And a lot of those predictions actually came true. I was I shocked myself kind of. I was like, wow, that was really fun. And so I did it again for regionals. I made a whole spreadsheet this time. Of the top 50 runners in the region, and I don't know, and I did it all through track. I was looking at times. I was I don't know. Sometimes Morellis would ask me, "Oh, what are these times looking like?" And I would just do it. And I don't know. It was really fun for me to feel like I was making a difference through that, even if I wasn't if I wasn't running as well because I was injured or something like that, which I'm still kind of going through. But
so you like the spreadsheets. You like
do.
looking at the stats. You
I really like
dive into
stats,
those.
yeah.
You break them down.
Absolutely.
And you said you were a little bit successful about predicting what was going to happen. Are you finding some of that success again this year with the first couple of meets, or not enough data yet to really kind of?
I would say that I have. It's easy right now for me to like make predictions for our own team. Definitely a lot harder for other teams just because there's a lack of data so far this year. But I don't know. I like right before the summer started, I was already looking at the team, who we might get on the team this year, and I was like, I think Caleb can make it to states. Caleb Branch being my fellow captain on the boys team.
Yep.
It's like he's gonna break 16. He's already there. Really, he ran like 16 flat 0.1 seconds at our last meet.
So you're pretty much there right at 16. Yeah, absolutely. So do you find, how do you use that team-wise to prepare? Does that, really it's an individual sport, obviously, that you run on your own, but you count as a team. Is there an advantage to knowing all of that? Is there a way that you as an individual or as a team can apply that information?
So I found that for the people on our team, they really like knowing when they have a target, like a specific person on a specific team to beat.
So if someone's averaging a 17 or something like that, and they know that person is right there,
right,
I can pace them or whatever it may be, and you can stay right on that.
Right, and even like my sister Cecilia says that when she's trying to get past someone, she'll envision like a target on that person, and it in our sport, because there's so much and so little time, I guess, to make moves and stuff.
Sure.
People really, they like having that target to go get.
Yep.
And so that's how I personally like to apply it to.
Tell us about the boys team. Is it pretty good this year? Improving? What do you see as who do you see and where do you see the moves making with the boys team this year?
So, like I said earlier, I think my fellow captain, Caleb Branch, I think he can definitely make it to states this year. I think he can do really well there as well. We've got a new runner, a new junior named Colin Katir. He was a tennis player the past 2 years, and he's coming this year, and that gives us a really great opportunity to finally win cities, which we haven't done in like just under 15 years, 13 years, I think. And that's really our goal this season. Our main goal is to finally get over the hump and win cities. And I think that with Colin there and the emergence of Ver Vanderwall, who's a sophomore, of course, I don't know. I think we can really make a difference there.
Good. What about yourself? Where do you see, what's your height, your ceiling for success?
So last year, I went into the season not having super high goals for myself. I kind of surprised myself again in that I ran better than I was expecting. I was able to run at regionals for the team. I broke 20 minutes for the 5K. But this year, what I really want to do, what I would like to do is finally get the varsity letter, break 18:30. I'm dealing with some injury problems though, but I really hope that I can do that.
Yeah, I know my son ran cross country when he was here, and he had constant shin splints.
Yeah,
just terrible shin splints. Ran through them most of the time. Sometimes they couldn't run. And injury, people don't understand how much injury there is associated with this type of running, and it can just be chronic injury that you have to just power through. And there's nothing you can do about it. And he powered through a lot, so I know that you guys are really have to do that.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the team really battling injuries on the both side?
I would say that.
I think almost everybody has some little injury.
That's probably
but anything
true.
Anything big?
Really, the thing that we're battling the most, like with some of our athletes, there's a hockey player. He was dealing with stuff last year. He only ran a few races. Hopefully he can make a difference this year for us. But beyond that, I think that we're starting to look healthier than we have been in the past few years, and that's really good for us.
Have you run all 4 years now as a senior?
Yes, I started running in 6th grade actually. So
So you've been literally from the onset of cross country all the way through.
I think my class was the first that we were allowed to run as 6th graders.
Okay. So you know pretty much everybody on this team, and you've known them for a while.
For a long time.
Who's the best singer on the boys? I mean, you guys got to break out in song every now and then, right? Who's the best singer?
Not to brag, I guess, but I think it's myself.
Whoa. Wow, that's really putting it out there.
Yeah.
So why is that? I mean, what kind of stuff do you sing?
Well, a popular one for us is Taylor Swift. We love to sing Taylor Swift songs. Olivia Rodrigo. Caleb really likes Olivia Rodrigo's songs. Yeah.
All right.
Those are the top 2 for us for sure.
Well, you know, one of these, if we ever get a chance, because cross country is so hard to cover with cameras, but I'll tell you what, if we ever get out there to cross and we get an opportunity to catch you guys, maybe we can get you breaking out in some song. What do you think?
We'll see. We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Theo Conrad, one of the captains for the boys team. Thanks for joining us, Theo. It's been a pleasure having you here, and good luck. You got your first conference meet coming up against Wyoming here, and that's when?
That's Wednesday, second day of school.
So, fantastic. Good luck.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to having this interview with you. Thanks for sitting down with us.
No problem. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a few minutes with our next interview.
Blended Furniture Market thanks you, Mona Shore Sailors, for your support. Have a fantastic game. Try your best and make a difference. Come shop with us down the road at Blended Furniture Market. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram. Go Sailors!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sailor Nation Sports Network, proud to bring you the first ever Cross Country Media Day. And we're taking an opportunity to talk to the team captains, as well as some of the coaches in just a little bit. And now joining us, we have Mr. Caleb Branch. Caleb, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the feeling it is to be voted in as another one of the captains. There's 2 captains, you and Theo, correct?
Yeah, well,
how does that feel?
Just with being one of the top runners since freshman year, I just gained a lot of leadership skills, and I guess it just came naturally with being the top runner. And I wasn't really surprised when I got voted captain.
So being the top runner, and Theo spoke very highly of you, what are your expectations for this season as an individual? What do you see?
Well, I hope to finish first place at the city meet and also go to states. And the school record is definitely within reach.
What is the school record? What are you shooting
It's
for?
15:26.
Okay. And you're right around 16 right now is what you just ran, correct?
My PR is 15:49.
Wow, you are very, very close.
Yeah, that's in a road race.
How's the conditioning been for preparing for this season? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Did you make some strides over the summer with the work? I've been around and I've seen you guys practicing throughout the summer a couple different times. So the whole team improving quite a bit since the first practices?
All of us had massive PRs at our last meet, which is great.
Tell us about the couple of meets that you've had so far. Where have you been so far?
Our first meet at Calvary Christian, it was really hot. I don't think anyone really had a great race that day. And it was just dry and dusty everywhere. I came in with 3rd place with a time of 16:33, I think, right beside Seth Norder and Nolan Clark from Grand Haven.
Yep, I recognize those names from last year as being pretty big time. So how does it feel? Do you feel any more or less pressure when you're at that tier of runner? Does it feel like within the team that more people are looking at you to do something with that skill? Do you feel any pressure from that?
Yeah, there's definitely more pressure with being the first runner on the team. You know, everyone looks up to you. Everyone expects you to do well in races. And, yeah.
So you've run since you were in a freshman, or did you run previous to that?
I started running in 6th grade in middle school.
So you've been running every year that you've been able to.
Yeah.
So what brought you to running? I mean, not everybody. I admit I am not one that likes running. But what is it about running that you enjoy?
Well, it was my parents that got me into running. They made me do cross country in 6th grade. And you know what? I kind of liked it. So I tried it another year, and I did pretty well in 7th grade. And that's just what kept me going.
How's the bond between the boys and girls team? Does that work out pretty well? I mean, obviously, you run typically different times, staggered a little bit. Is there a lot of support between the two teams?
Yeah, there for sure is. Like, all of us are cheering each other on at the races. I mean, we bond well at practice. And yeah, I think we have a good relationship between our two teams.
You have a very good working knowledge of everybody that's on the team as a captain, and as much time as you've spent on there. Who would you say is the most daring, like the craziest daring person on the team? Who would you give that title to?
I'd probably say Will Parsekian.
Parsekian. Why?
He's down to do anything.
What has he done so far that would give you that? Or maybe we can't talk about it. Maybe.
He's done a lot of things. I can't really name one off the top of my head, but actually on one of our warm-ups, he ran into a parking sign in the parking lot and sliced his neck open.
How do you do that? Did he not see it?
No, he didn't. He had to get a couple stitches.
Wow. Well, he is pretty daring. He took on a street sign, lost, but nevertheless, he took it on.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting to see what the boys are doing with cross country, boys and girls cross country, really putting a lot of improvement into the team. It's exciting to see where this team is going. I know my son was on the team, and it was, kind of rebuilding years and everything else, and you guys have come an incredibly long way, and it's going to be absolutely a pleasure to see how well you do as an individual and as a team with your running skills. And good luck. I hope that you're able to make it to state like you want to. Maybe you'll be able to break that record. Certainly start PRing when you can, and it's going to be awesome to watch everything. So, Caleb, thank you for joining us here for this Media Day event.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. So we're going to take a few more minutes, and we'll bring up another interview here in just a few minutes. Looking to buy or sell? Look no further than our broadcast booth sponsor, John Vandervelde at Nexus Realty. Give him a call at 231-759-3634 or go see him at 880 West Broadway Avenue in Muskegon. Nexus Realty, team-based real estate professionals. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sailor Nation Sports Network here at the Cross Country Media Day. It's the first one that we've had where we're interviewing some of the captains. Hopefully some of the coaches here in just a little bit, but we're trying to get that flavor of what's going on this year. And Sienna Billingsley, thank you for joining us, Sienna.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So you're senior, right?
Yes, I'm a senior this year.
One of the captains.
Yep.
And I understand that 3 captains because of the size of the team. You're one of the 3. How many girls are on the girls team?
I would say about 20. Sometimes we have a little bit more, but usually it's a lot bigger than the boys team.
Yeah. It's hard to get girls and boys to come out for cross country.
Yeah.
Again, myself, I don't like to run unless something's chasing me. So, but there are people that do like to run, and honestly, it's a really great challenge. It's a great athletic challenge for anybody. People don't recognize really what kind of a challenge cross country is, and to have 20 girls is amazing. How many of those are seniors? Do you know?
I think there's 7 or 8 of us. We have a big senior team this year.
So you have, but 7 and 8 going out, you have so many more. Hopefully they stick around. Does the team seem to be enjoying it? Like, would you expect the underclassmen to be returning next year?
Yes, I do think so. I think we as seniors and a lot of the other upperclassmen in general try to make it a fun environment for everybody.
How do you do that?
Just encouraging everybody to participate. I mean, we have like fun runs, we run together, we do activities together. We always make sure to have like team bonding activities, and we recruit out of middle school. So if we see we'll work middle school meets, and if we see middle schoolers that we want to come up, then we'll talk to them about their opportunities here.
It's fantastic. Who should we keep an eye on this year in the girls team?
Definitely Ellery Hornis. She is one of our top runners this year. I believe at our last meet she ran in 1956 and placed 8th. And I think
as a freshman,
yes. And also Kendall Bragginton just came up. She's also a freshman, and she's running, I think she just ran a 21:10 or 21:20, which is her varsity letter. A 22:10, I'm sorry, which is her varsity letter.
Already as a freshman?
Yes,
Yeah,
already as a
that's awesome.
freshman, and she's improving just rapidly throughout
And
the year.
loving it.
Yes, and
I
loving
tell you, to have seniors like yourselves and the other two girls, and then to have freshmen coming in that seem to be really taking a liking to this, it's incredible to see what could happen with this girls' team, especially if the energy and the enthusiasm continues to stay. How much of the responsibility of that energy and enthusiasm do you guys as captains kind of take on as a responsibility?
Kind of a lot. I mean, just keeping people in line is a big part of it, and then just making sure they have fun. It can be really stressful. I get really nervous before meets, and then just making sure, you got this, like, it's going to be okay. It's really not that long. People think it's just this long run, and it's really not. It's only about 20 minutes, 30 minutes
Sure.
at most. So
It
just
feels like forever.
Yeah, it feels like forever, but once you're done,
Especially when
it's not
it's
that
as
bad.
hot as it was the
Yes.
first meet there.
So just keeping their spirits up, like making sure they're not getting like down in the dumps about like starting their race, is just a really key component to it.
Where is your goals set for an individual? this year, Celia?
So my PR right now is in the low 21s, and I've been struggling a bit at the beginning of this season due to a knee injury. So my main goal right now is just a PR and just like break through that record that I have for myself, and to get sub 21 would be great for me.
Have you been able to run both races so
The
far?
first race I did not. The second race I did.
Okay. All right. And coming up is Wyoming, first
Yes.
conference. How do we feel we're going to do in conference this year?
I think that we have a really good chance. Last year, we took, I believe, second at our conference championship, beating out Zeeland East. Our goal is to beat Zeeland West, who is more of a competition for us. So that's our main thing that we want. We, of course, want to win cities, but winning conference has been something that we've wanted to do for a long time.
With 20 runners, does that give you the ability? How do the points work? Explain to everybody how points work.
So your varsity team is made up of 7 girls. Sometimes varsity races allow more, but for conference we run 7. And the top 5 runners on your team score. And you score the amount of points of the place that you get. So if you get second place, that's 2 points for your team. And the goal for cross country is to have the least amount of points.
Gotcha.
So if we can get more people in the top quarter, top half of that conference race, then we have a good chance of winning.
Do you switch who's running varsity sometimes for each race?
Yes, very often, and it depends on like the performance and how a runner is feeling and how maybe they did in like a past race. So it really depends, and sometimes it's just who he knows is going to be able to perform even if there's a time that's faster. So consistency is key.
Have you run how many years have you been running?
I started my sophomore year, so not as early as some of the other captains on the team, but I have been on varsity all 3 years that I've ran.
What'd you do your freshman year?
I played soccer, but as I joined the soccer team, COVID hit and I wasn't able to play.
Okay. All right. Which one do you like better?
Definitely cross country.
You do? Good.
I was going to keep doing soccer my sophomore year after cross country, but I quit to do track. The team environment here and I love the sport in general. I found a love for it after I joined, and it just made me want to keep doing it and keep running.
So as a captain, obviously 3 years running here, you also are somebody that has a pulse on everything that's going on in the team. Who's the best dancer on your team? I mean, everybody's got to really wonder, that's how you blow off steam. You do things like sing and, who's the best dancer?
I would say Destiny Douglas. She's also a senior on the team, and she'll sing
Just
and
break
dance on
out
her own.
and
Yes,
that's it?
she'll break out into song and dance, and it cheers everybody up. It makes everybody laugh, and we love it.
You guys ever have a dance off? Like who's ever going to dance?
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, my son 4 years ago was on the cross country team, and I don't think it had quite as much energy as what it does now, and it really is reflective of the coaching, but most importantly of the captains on the team. So having you here and having the other 2 captains that you have is really special. Watching this team and the success that you guys, the ceiling is really, really high for you guys. And honestly, I think that you're going to have some state qualifiers. I think you're probably going to have a good shot at city, and it's going to be fun watching you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Celia, one of the other captains, joining us, and thank you, Celia, for doing this interview. Stay tuned. We're going to do one more, I believe, maybe a couple more interviews here, and we'll be wrapping up our media day for cross country. Stay tuned. Sailor Nation Sports Network back here at the Media Day, first ever for cross country. Not something we get an opportunity to do, but it's a great opportunity for us to meet some of these members of the boys and girls cross country team. Now, Cecilia Conrad. Thanks for joining us, Cecilia.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so one of the three captains of the girls. Mm-hmm. What weight does that carry for you? Being voted as a captain really kind of is pretty special. How does that set with you? What does that do for you?
Well, especially because we have so many qualified seniors on the team, I was really unsure as to who was going to get it. It was really up in the air, and so to have the girls trust me enough to vote me in as a captain, it really means a lot to me because I care a lot about these girls, and I'm glad that they care about me enough and respect me enough to trust me to be in this position.
Seeing that there is success all the way from the senior leadership all the way down to the freshmen, that's it reflects quite a bit on the coaching and the organization and everything else. Walk us through what a normal practice looks like for you guys.
So we'll meet here after school, actually, in this hallway, and we have a certain time that we all leave for warm-up, so regardless of whether or not the coaches are here, the captains will kind of be like, okay guys, we're going to head out for our warm-up, which is just around this school building. And then we'll meet for stretches, and the captains will lead stretches, and the coaches might fill us in on anything that we're doing today. And then after, they'll give us our workout. So whether that's splitting up to run distance or maybe we do a track workout. And then once we get back from that, we'll do more stretches, elevations, and core. And then we might get some information on like a meet that we're running in 2 days, or like a packing list for anything that we might need. Just
in those practices, and maybe not as much now as what it was during the summer when you were doing conditioning. I remember my son Noah, when he was on cross country, did some crazy long runs. What did those conditioning runs in the summertime look like for you? Where did you guys go?
So one of my favorite long runs that we've done is 6 miles, which is we will get dropped off by Pure Marquette, and we will run all the way back.
So they literally just drop you off and said, good luck.
Yep.
And you guys have a pre-planned route that you're going to run? Or?
Oh yeah, we all, by your freshman year, you'll know all our routes. So if someone says 3 miles, we have a route for that. If someone says 4 miles, you're going the 4 mile route. So that's one of the first things that you learn.
So it's 6 mile run all the way from Pure Marquette all the way back.
Well, that's the unusual dates. Those aren't usual.
Sure. So obviously those are more conditioning at the beginning of the season kind of stuff. What are you guys running now? Is it pretty much just right here around the school? Maybe some of the outlying.
Yeah. So our workouts don't change much. We'll still have distance days, and we will still have our track workout days, but sometimes they get affected because of our meet schedule. So on days before and after a meet, you don't want to go too hard on your body because that's a lot of strain. Sure. And you don't want to get injured. So our coaches have to plan out what we're going to do for workouts in order to make sure that we stay healthy and are conditioned.
Speaking of health of the team, is the injury bug, how's that within the team for the girls?
I would say there's probably 2 or 3 girls every year who struggle with injuries, and that can vary from season to season. It can be based on your shoes, it can be based on how you run, it can be as simple as falling on a course. So, yeah.
What's the toughest course you've run so far?
The toughest course that I have run, it's hard because it really depends on the weather. So a tough course for me, this year we ran at Calvary Christian, which not only is a very sandy course, it was also very hot. And there wasn't a lot of shade to avoid. And then another one, also because it's hot, would be MSU at the Spartan Invite.
Okay. Have you run Hesperia?
I have not. I've heard tales of it though, but I have not run it myself.
I have actually. When Noah was on the team, he ran Hesperia, and he said, "Oh, that was one of the toughest courses they did." So if you ever get a chance to run Hesperia up there, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like you drive out, and just when you think you're there, drive another 10 miles, and you finally get there.
Well, because that's the problem.
It's a beautiful course, but it's tough.
Yeah, because a lot of courses can't be held on the school grounds themselves because, I mean, obviously just here at Mona Shores, there are no trails, there is no place that you can host a big event, so we have to do it off campus. So a lot of times you'll end up...
They used to run them here.
Yeah.
Yeah, long ago.
We also used to have a course down by Hoffmaster by the Oak Ridge Golf Course, which we actually ran at Cities this year.
Yep. So what do you see for yourself this year? What are you looking to achieve?
Well, we have a really strong group at the very front, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of those runners. And so, just to stay with those girls to improve as a pack, one of the most important things that you can do in cross country is to run with a group, because then all of your points are kind of together, and it's a lot easier to score points in that way. And so, to stay with those girls and to improve as a group.
Your brother.
Yes.
He is affectionately known as Assistant Coach Theo. He's quite a data analyst.
Oh, yes.
Do you have the same passion?
Not as much as him, but we all on the team, the clock doesn't lie. So there's a website that we all go on called athletic.net, and we will find other runners' times. We'll make a list of who to watch out for, and that's sometimes one of the most helpful things is to know the girls around you, what they can do and what you can do.
The boys' team and the girls' team, do you guys ever poke fun at each other?
Yeah, because cross country really is a co-ed sport.
Sure.
We don't have separate coaches for them, so we're together a lot. We know them quite well. We run together with them. So yeah, I mean, and especially with a coach like Coach Morales, it's really easy to have that easy team dynamic.
So I'm going to ask you another question. Not as a captain, and how many years have you run?
I've run since 6th grade.
Since 6th grade. So you're one of them that has really started and love it, and you're in there, and you know all of these girls. Who's the most particular about their hair?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest, no one really cares about it that much because
that's good. That's good.
We all run in a ponytail. I mean, it's gonna get wet when it's raining.
Sweat.
Honestly,
and everybody's
some of the boys really care.
Is that right?
Yeah. There's
I love it. That's fair. That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
I won't say his name, but every time we run, I can see him like.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Cecilia, thanks for joining us here for this interview. We're absolutely proud to be able to do this first media day with you guys, get you some exposure and really show them what's going on. Hopefully it'll drum up some more runners for both the boys and the girls. People will be able to watch that. So Cecilia Conrad, thank you. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with one final interview with the coach. Trophy House is your #1 source for fan gear, corporate and team sales, trophies, awards, and more. Visit them in their new showroom, right next door from their old showroom on Henry Street. If it can be logoed, they're your resource. Your brand is their business. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sailor Nation Sports Network wrapping up our media day coverage for cross country, first ever. And wrapping up with me is Coach Kyle Morales. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
We're
for
excited.
the invite and really putting this together. This is the first one of its kind.
Yeah, really wanted to give an opportunity for the athletes, and we've got them doing a whole bunch of silly pictures in the other gym, and so
that's fantastic.
We're really enjoying it.
So what made you think of doing a media day? I know, is it because other sports have done media day and this is just something cool to do?
Yeah, and frankly, other sports have done media days, and I've got all my kids on covering the Instagram pages for the colleges and such, and they see other athletes doing media days or just they say those same things, some of those silly pictures and such, and they say, Coach, what do you think about that? And I said, let's put it together, let's do it. So it started with our normal picture day, team pictures like we normally do, and then headshots so we can have some professional materials to go out as we promote the team and promote the athletes, and then get a chance to just get them in here and really say why they love the sport and
Sure.
why they're here.
Yeah, and they have been doing fantastic interviews. I'll tell you, very poised. Your
Awesome.
senior captains are really, you can tell that they have leadership within them, and it's
perfect.
really cool to see. So tell me, from your perspective, tell me about these teams. Let's give us me a brief summary of both the boys and the girls team.
Sure. We'll start with the boys team. Boys team has 15 athletes.
Yep.
It's a dedicated group of boys. It's a tight group of boys. They have they're a little senior heavy with a good influx of freshmen, and they're learning. We are led by Caleb Branch, our top runner, who is absolutely going to be an all-state caliber runner this season. The boys have been looking for a city championship for better part of a decade now, and that's really their main primary focus is
Sure.
to take the county. Frankly, the GMA is all the schools in Muskegon
Sure.
County, and that's our first and primary focus for the team. These boys are they've known each other really tightly, and that's reflective of the girls as well. They've been together for a long time, and while they're small in number, they are really putting a splash this season, and they're punching outside their weight class. We were at the Under the Lights invite, and we were in the big school division, and we're one of the smaller schools in the big school
Sure.
division. And when you look at the point spread, we had one of our runners who was missing that evening. If he had been with us, we would have taken second place from East Kentwood, which is 35,000 students.
Sure.
Compared to Shores, 1,300. So when you look at the pool of athletes of what we've been able to take from here at Shores, what we've got is
Doing well.
a fighting group,
Yep.
and so small but mighty is the way I would describe the boys. Ladies are they are a conference championship caliber team. We are led by some outstanding seniors, some who've been with me since they've been running for me since they were in 6th grade.
Right.
And they are intuitive. They know not only their bodies, they know not only the team, but they know the sport. I would say they are students of the sport in that regard, and these ladies are ready to race this season.
That's
Really excited.
reflected in their interviews that they did too, is really understanding not only theirs, but really have a good pulse on the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And they take their job as captains very seriously about maintaining the order within the team and helping out and cheering on and everything else. It's got to be pretty proud for a coach to see the seniors that have elevated to captains and what
Yes.
they're doing. Is that pretty proud?
Especially because, like I said, I've been with some of them since they were 6th graders,
Right.
and to not only see their development as individuals, as people, but then added on that the excitement of watching their development as runners. It's just been fascinating. This group. They've really latched onto the philosophy that I've continued to put out to the team every year, is that the team takes care of its own. And so if you've been hearing in some of their interviews that they know their teammates' times, they know how their teammates are feeling, the needs of the team, that's because that's the ethos that we really want presented throughout the Winged MS, but throughout not only just the cross country but the track and field programs, the idea that we take care of our own. And if you're a part of this family, then we're gonna look after you.
How long have you been coach now for cross country?
The high school, this is my 5th season as the varsity head coach, and prior to that I was with the middle school team, the boys middle school team and girls middle school team for 5 seasons as well.
Sure.
So 10th year teaching.
So between the two teams, I have that right, 35 runners, 15 and 20?
Yep.
Is this one of the bigger teams combined that you've had in the past?
We were just north of 40 one season. That was earlier in my career, but this is the larger in the recent years. Yeah, and it's really. It creates a hopeful atmosphere because especially on the girls' side, they've been drawing in more athletes. They've been really doing a good job of recruiting, and that's it gives us hope for what's coming because we see a lot more athletes are just excited. And I tell my parents as well, you're the best promoters of the team. If you are happy with how your child is doing, if you are happy with how your student athlete is performing and what's going on around the team that you're seeing, tell our story. And the parents have done an incredible job the last couple of years, sharing that with the community as well, which is just super helpful for us as a coaching staff.
Listening to the captains, listening to yourself, there's a real sense of true relevancy returning to cross country. this year. And last year
Yeah.
there was some good, but this
Yes.
year there is really, especially when you've got on the girls' side the freshman runners
Yes.
coming up.
Yes.
How does that feel? I mean, does it feel finally we're starting to find that fifth gear? We're really going to start pushing it forward. Is that the feeling, the intensity of it?
2 points to that. Last year was the dam breaking. On the ladies' side, they finally got the county championship. We finally got the GMAA, and that was that's been a goal that they've been aiming for years. And when that finally came through, you felt the team shift. Like, okay, now we know we can do it, and now we know we can do more. And that's been their focus going throughout their training this summer is what the next step. Add to that, you've got the incoming athletes that are really shaking things up. We're starting to get some recognition in the wider stage of high school cross country as well. Making sure that we cover our backyard, that we take care of Muskegon County, but we're looking outward. And again, punching outside our weight class. Our region is going to be one of the toughest regions in the state, Region 1-1. We have Grand Haven, we have Rockford, we have Holland West Ottawa, who are the favorites to win the state championship on the ladies' side. And so in that regard, we know we've got some incredibly tough teams that are historic powerhouses in cross country in the state of Michigan, and we are prepared to go toe to toe with some of them, and as far as that goes. And so it's really. Grit is described as perseverance over the long period of time. Can you put your nose to the grindstone and really commit to furthering and bettering yourself for the long haul? And I would say these athletes are really dialed into that. And as a coach, there's some blood, sweat, and tears put into this to really get this team where we want it.
It has a feel where you say the team takes care of its own.
Yeah.
It almost seems like it's pushing its own too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not much that you have to do from a motivation perspective. Like the teams are motivating themselves. Would that be true?
Very much so. I tell them they hear me before they see me, so they know that I'm out there motivating. But I can direct gently and let them push the message and push each other as they need to. It's exciting to watch on race day how they handle themselves with professionalism and put their athleticism out there to really compete. It's really exciting.
Tell me about your coaching staff.
It's myself and Coach Santa Maria. Coach Santa Maria is my assistant. We have developed a really strong relationship. We're teaching partners in the sense that his classroom is right next to mine, and he comes from a baseball background. He never ran a mile in his life, cross country or track, but Coach Santa Maria, I tapped him to join the program because he's great with our athletes. He's great with our students. You can see in his classroom and his teaching, his students really gravitate to him, and he just has a great finger on the pulse of the mood of the team and the mood of his students as well. So that has been incredibly helpful to me. I get a little bit bogged down in the weeds sometimes, the X's and O's and some of the training pieces, and wanting us to compete at a high level, and he's a really good barometer of where the team is at, and the two of us combined do a really good job. He's my data guy, really comes in with the numbers, along with
I was going to say assistant
coach Theo, yes, as he's been tapped in. So what we will do when those spreadsheets are gone, I'm going to have to figure that one out, but I tell you what, Coach Santa Maria has been super helpful. And add to that, we have the middle school staff. The middle school staff does an incredible job of identifying talent and bringing them forward, and that's Coach Hanson Jablonski and Coach Joseph Latz. Those two, Courtney Hanson Jablonski, those two have done a phenomenal job over the last couple of years, keeping the middle school program performing at a high level and identifying which athletes, Coach, you really need to make sure that they run and they join us. That feeder program has done dividends for us over the last 3 years.
That's fantastic. So you've known pretty much all of these runners, some of them since 6th grade,
Yes.
all the way up. One boy, one girl.
Okay.
Who is the comedic relief on both teams?
Okay. On the ladies' side, one girl, Lily Hool.
Okay.
Lily's got a line for everything, and you just got, but she's never the loudest. She's never the most front. I'll be talking, we'll be going through, we'll talk, and then you just hear something in the background, and it's quick and it's quiet and it just, what? And that's the kind of I love that. I love that. On the boys' side, much more loud, much more in your face, but that's Victor Wu. And you would not assume it watching him walk down the hallways, but when he's with the team, when he's with the boys, his personality really comes out. And so I would say on those two sides, Lily Hool and Victor Wu.
Truly feels from the other interviews that we did and what you described that these teams are coming together as a real, true cross-country family, and it's translating into some success, which is just breeding more success. And I'm as a former parent of one of your cross-country runners, it's really cool. I told Noah that we were doing this media day. He says, they never did media day. So I told him that once I get it uploaded, I'll tell him when it's uploaded. He's really looking forward to watching it. As I hope the parents and anybody else that might have an interest in cross-country gets a chance to watch this and really understand a little bit more about cross-country and what it's all about and what these athletes are going through. But thank you, Coach, for taking a little bit of time.
Appreciate it.
And really setting up this media day, and hopefully it grows some legs and we can do it every year.
I hope so too. We're really looking forward to it. We're going to have a lot of fun this season.
It is going to be fun to watch. Sailor Nation, we're wrapping up here at Media Day Cross Country. First one of its kind and hopefully not the last. Thank you for joining us for this broadcast. We look forward to the next one. Thanks and have a great day.